So I was asked to talk about the Seelie and Unseelie courts. When talking about these two, we are entering Scottish folklore. The Seelie and Unseelie courts are an imperfect way for humans to categorize the Fae. So what do I mean when I say the Fae? When I reference the Fae, I'm talking about a being that is more than a human, less than a god. What I mean by that is a being with more supernatural attributes or characteristics than a human would have, but less than what a god would have. Or to be simply put, a metaphysical nature spirit. So when I use the term Fae, that's what I'm talking about. And that is an umbrella term that covers a very wide variety of different beings. To say that the Seelie court is comprised of good Fae and the Unseelie court is comprised of bad Fae would be a horrible, horrible mistake. They are far more complex than that. And again, it's an imperfect attempt to categorize these beings. Think of Fae being part of the Seelie court as Fae who are indifferent to humans and sometimes will have like a symbiotic relationship with them, but if you mess with them, they're still extraordinarily dangerous. The Fae are dangerous, while the Unseelie Fae will torment or humans for fun because they want to. But this is trying to place human morality onto a being that is not human, or beings that are not human. Understanding the morality of these beings is like trying to understand the morality of a god. As a human, you're probably just not going to. We can get pretty good ideas in reference to us, but as far as what's going on in their minds, the likelihood of us understanding that is pretty low. I saw someone say in an article as I was doing my research that it's easy, like you can describe human morality as black and white, but Fae morality is like orange and blue. And so it doesn't quite make sense. We're not really going to understand it. So to definitively say, oh, that is a Seelie Fae or that is an Unseelie Fae is going to be really complicated. There are easier beings to put under these titles, like a brownie, for example, is an elf-like creature that will do household chores. They're pretty benevolent. They don't intentionally go out to harm humans, but don't disrespect them because then they will mess everything up for you. They turn into like little trickster spirits. They'll hide your car keys, your wallets. They'll knock over laundry baskets. Whatever they can do to just make your life very inconvenient, they will do that. While a being like a Kelpie will shapeshift into a horse, trick a human into riding it, and then take it to wherever its water home is and drown them. Maybe for fun, maybe for food. We're not sure. Now, while these terms came from the Scots language, these beliefs did kind of assimilate their way into Irish folklore and British folklore as well. So you'll come across entities that are described the same way, but with different names. And as history progresses and the history that we have lost, identifying a being to be Fae or not to be Fae is complicated as well. A lot of goddesses were lessened, I guess you could say, into like fairy queens, for example. A lot of these Fae-like nature spirits were deemed to be fallen angels or demons when Christianity started slowly taking over the area. And a lot of the information that we would have had that was written down was destroyed by the Christian takeover. And it was very well known for them to do this. Look at the Library of Alexandria, for example. So the best source that we have are stories that have been passed down by the people who live in Scotland or those general areas. Now, I decided to make this topic my very first article for Substack, which means that I'm about to post an article that goes into this topic in much more detail. If you want to dive deeper into the topic, I definitely do that in this article. If there's information that I did not mention in this article that you would like for me to talk about, you can leave it in a comment here. I'm still figuring out Substack, but it would mean a lot if you guys would take the time to subscribe. It's in my link tree. I am also starting my research on the individual beings that would be considered Fae or mythical beings in general from Scottish folklore. I'm going to be writing an article kind of going into general detail about each one of these that I list in this article here. Now, while I'm doing my best to provide good faith information, it's always going to be a good idea to go straight to the source. So someone who was born and raised in Scotland, for example, someone who was told these stories as they were growing up, they're going to know more than me. I want you to take the information I give you as a starting point because I am sharing my research with you. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them for you if I can. And if there are any other entities or topics you want me to go into, please let me know.